having academic degrees is not an obligation, and you don't have to have many academic degrees to really contribute directly to whatever it is that you want to contribute to the society.
Welcome to the Student Talk series, a podcast where UIII students discuss various stories about students' life that the general public may not be familiar with.
Dari awal masuk aja udah ditanya, kamu interest di bidang apa, gitu ya.
There are still many people who don't even care about their healthy lifestyle.
All hilarious, engaging and heartbreaking stories will be told lightly and in casual way. Enjoy the show!
Okay, as I mentioned, we almost getting close to the closing of the program, and I would like to get advice from you. Like, I want to ask, what advice do you have for students in the Faculty of Social Sciences to actually be able to focus on their academic journey, at the same time being very active as scholars, like as incoming scholars, to actually publish, write books, you know? So what advice do you have for people, students who are in the social sciences areas, not only in the social science, but also in other disciplines? Because sitting here, I'm really honored and inspired by you. You know, being an MA student, I believe you guys will be graduating very soon, this month. So, and you have already won a scholarships to study in one of the most prestigious universities in London. So what advice do you have for some students in the social sciences or in the university who want to follow suit and achieve, you know, what have you achieved so far?
Yeah. Right. Can I ask you something? After finishing your master's study, do you want to also pursue PhD?
Well, for me, my academic interest, yeah, I want to pursue my PhD either in climate diplomacy or in climate finance, you know, after finishing my MA, you know, my MPP program currently. Yeah.
Right. I think, look, academic calling may not occur to everyone, right?
Sure.
Just because we read certain books that pique our interest doesn't mean that we have that academic calling to really come up with theories, right? Because writing PhD dissertations basically comes down to providing the literature with new insights and new theories, right? But maybe not everyone has that, you know, calling to do that, right? What I'm saying is, it's not an obligation, right? So having academic degrees is not an obligation, and you don't have to have many academic degrees to really contribute directly to whatever it is that you want to contribute to the society, right? But if you have passions on teaching, writing, right, communicating scientific papers to the wide audience, then yes, the world of academia is a place for you, right? And so if you have that passion, right, in research, in sitting for hours every single day, staring at your laptop, right? Open pages after pages of books and journals, then I suggest you pursue a PhD, right? I would say use your time, especially for students, right? Use your time in here at UIII as good as possible, right? Because this opportunity perhaps is a very rare opportunity to be awarded scholarship or to be able to study here in this university. And this university has almost all the resources that you need, right? And this university also has almost all the connections and recommendations that you need, especially from scholars, right? Always look at how your lecturers or some scholars that you look up to talk and present their research, right? Because sometimes, they can communicate their research to a very wide audience, even to someone who's not an expert in that field, right? Just look at how they convey the message, and look at how they, on a very technical level, look at how they argue, right? And from that, you can learn how to make your own argument, and you can learn how to come up with perhaps a more authentic argument of yourself, right? So yeah, I mean,
wow, I think
reading and writing and so on and so forth.
That's really inspiring, So, like, how has the life in UIII, been to you, like in terms of both academic, professional, experiences? What can you say about about your life in UIII, like spending like 2 years? What are some of the experiences you gained so far?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I would say it's beyond expectation. I mean, when I recall the first time I tried to apply into this university, I thought, all right, this is a master's study, but still in Indonesia. To be frank, I wasn't expecting this level of graduate training and education, but as I experience it firsthand, right, and as I walk through all of the academic requirements and all of the academic tasks that the faculty members have designed, I would say that this is a very excellent, right, university. Now let's allow me to talk a little bit, right? We have a lot of programs in Indonesian universities that have the title of international program, right? International university, international graduate school research, blah, 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 right? But when you come into the program and you sit in the class, the lecturers talk in Indonesia. They don't talk in English, right? The papers are not written in English. Here in this university, no, that's not the case, right? You talk in English. I have one class where the lecturer and all of the students are all Indonesians, but we still talk in English, right? So we live by our name, right? International University. And the quality of or the structure of faculty members, all of them are PhDs from basically prestigious universities,
sure,
right? From a
Harvard,
PhD from America, PhD
Harvard
from Germany, PhD from Australia. They basically are people who were trained in
top universities.
Yeah, important places, right? And they were trained by important people, right?
Sure.
I mean, the leading expert in their field, right? And that's why I would really love to market this university both to young scholars of Indonesia and young scholars in the global south or the global north.
So, yeah, I think, you said it all. One thing about this university, which is very, very unique of the university, is its diversity. I have other friends who are studying in other universities, but most of the time their lectures are delivered in Bahasa. Like, sometimes I would be like, how do you guys understand? They say like, now you can speak the language fluently.
Now you can speak Bahasa fluently, right?
But here, looking at it here you don't even have to, though we do Bahasa course, for every student, it's a mandatory for you to do a Bahasa course. But it is still not, even if you can speak fluent Bahasa, but it's still not a big deal. Like
Yeah.
all lectures are clear, are entirely purely in English.
Purely in English,
You know,
yeah. 100%
and
English.
honestly, you know, it's great. You know, the lecturers are very, very, you know, fluent in English. You know, as you mentioned, some are trained in Harvard, you know, top universities. So it is really a privilege, you know, for some of us to come and study in this university, because it is really an eye opener, and you know, we gain a lot of knowledge from the lecturers. And then, you know, there are so many resources the students can also access. For example, the Yusuf Kala Library, you know, which is open almost 24/7 from Monday to, you know, to Saturdays mostly. So I think, you know, you said it all. UIII, life in UIII, you know, is really, you know, great. If anyone wants to be a scholar, I think here is the place to start from.
Place that you have to consider.
Exactly. So finally, just to, you know, close this question with just to ask final question. How do you want to contribute your knowledge back to Indonesia? Like currently, you already get your master's degree. I understand you co-authored books, publish articles, but then you are now going for PhD. You know, how do you, you know, envision yourself contributing back to Indonesia? You know, Indonesia's development and advancement. You know, and then also, what are your, you know, maybe, you know, long-term goals or career goals after completing, you know, your PhD and things like that? Are we gonna see a Rizky who's gonna come back and be a professor in this university, or?
I don't know what the future holds, but yeah. First of all, I will make sure that I can attain the PhD degree, because it's a whole another challenge, right?
Sure.
I get where you're going with your question, right? What is, and basically this is also a question that I asked to a lot of professors, right? Look, we here, myself, let's say, here in UIII, spending taxpayers' money, right? For me to basically read, write, and sleep, repeat, right? And if I get lucky, I can publish what I write, right? But what's the point, right? What's the feedback for those taxpayers' money? If you study economics, or if you study political science, then I think your main audience would be those who make policies, right? The lawmakers, the policymakers, not only in the government, but also in companies, right? Private companies, because they also make policies, right? For their workers, they also make policies to their consumers, perhaps. And if you can get the ear of the autocrat in private companies and in governments, then you can shape policy to a better cause, right? However, Wali, my principle, right, is that, look, talking to policymakers, talking to government, talking to leaders, quote unquote, is your secondary obligation. There is another and more important obligation as scholar, which is to provide accuracy, right? Or I like to put it, to generate accurate theories, right? Theory that can predict, theory that can explain the state of the world, right? Yes, we have to change the world, but we haven't done it with understanding the world, right? And so the main responsibility for us scholars, and perhaps young scholars, and more seasoned scholars, is actually to write down and to provide a good way, or the right way, to really understand the world, right? How the world works. And as we get that information, we can talk to policymakers and we can talk to world leaders look, this is how the world is run by you. And if you want to make a better change, then you should not run the world as you do now, right? Right, here's my research, here's the data, here's what I can explain about the data. I can make sure that the data is accurate. I can make sure that my research is robust. And then, only then, you have the confidence and you have the right to talk to world leaders.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rizky, for joining us today. I think we have already come to the end of this program, and honestly, I'm really honored to be the moderator asking you all these questions. But thank you so much for the wonderful answers. I think you have already inspired a lot of students in the Faculty of Social Sciences.
I hope so.
And beyond, to actually follow suit on what you have achieved so far, your academic journey, your professional journey. It has really been, it's really inspiring. And I'm saying congratulations on your scholarship, and I wish you all the best of luck from here to London to pursue your PhD. And I hope you'll come back someday to actually be one of the professors in this university. So
thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers. We have come to end of this program, and thank you so much to Joseph Kala Students Talk in collaboration with ASIS, Faculty of Social Science Students Association. And thank you so much for the media team for organizing this. It is really an honor. And until we see you next time, I am Wali Eso. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wali. This is your first time hosting a podcast.
I used to serve as a panelist, but